Yeah, what do you think the line is for Bobby Slowik? Like how it has to be ugly for him to get fired, right?
Before we hear from this man, let's ask this question. If you want to get in on anything, you can 713-780-3776 without knowing how it goes. But let's just say the Texans lose. There's no giant swing one way or the other of awful play calling or the offense doesn't score any points that would lead you to go, okay, of course this guy has to get fired. Let's just say the Texans lose a normal game. They drop a game, kind of the games we've seen from them for the most part this year. They drop a game to a pretty good football team. They lose 24-20. Nothing egregious happened on offense. Maybe CJ threw a pick, but it's not like they were unable to move the ball because sometimes a disaster or catastrophe makes a move happen. We can't do this. This guy has to go. If it's a normal loss, is Bobby Slowik back? Do you think, Sean, or anyone else?
I think he is.
I would agree.
I think he's back, and it comes down to D'Amico Ryan's being loyal to his guys, being loyal to someone he brought over from San Francisco, and a lot of times for first time head coaches, like they don't they don't want to, you know, make that decision to fire the guy on his first staff until you absolutely have to. And if you're D'Amico Ryan's, it's first 2 years we've won 20 games and won the division both years. So he's not quite at the, backed into the corner of having to fire his friend. So I don't think that it happens like you said. If it is a normal, offensive performance loss, nothing egregiously bad happens. I tend to agree with you.
Yeah, I think we are at a point where someone's gonna go, but it'll be the online coach, Chris Strasser. If you're someone who can evaluate the Texans and you're inside that building, you can evaluate how this is gone. You go, this is the main issue with us. Sure, the injuries to your wide receivers aren't helping, but you point to the problem that's been the problem since week one. It's your O line and them not living up to the resources you put into it. You've had to make changes, some of that due to injury, some of that due to lack of performance. And who has to fall on the sword? Who has to be the one who is held accountable? I think it's Chris Strasser. I think he's the guy who will go. And if D'Amico Ryans still has faith in Bobby Slowik, that'll be the way you explain it. You go, hey, it's not Bobby. The calls that worked last year would have worked this year. Our offensive line has not performed up to a level that we would like, and that's how you protect your players too. We believe in these guys. It's the reason we drafted this guy here. It's the reason we paid this guy. It's not them. It's this anonymous dude you guys don't really know about. Sure, we love him. We hired him. But if someone's got to go, it's easy for it to be him. We're going to make that move.
The guy who had one media appearance
all year
long, and no one was allowed to film him, apparently.
I don't know. Very odd. I'm not sure.
I don't know if it was a rule, but no one did film him.
Yeah.
But got plenty of audio.
That is odd. I'm not sure why that happened. The one time he had to speak, it's like he's in witness protection for whatever reason. If you're gonna do that, just change his voice too. Put that voice modulator thing on him and let him do it that way. We can't even look at him while he's talking. We will see if the Texans use Strasser as this. I wouldn't even call it a scapegoat. They've underperformed, and not just simply underperformed. They don't pick up things that should have been picked up at least after week one. The same things that have caused them problems in week one caused them problems throughout the year. So scapegoat is unfair to the underperformance of that offensive line. Someone's got to catch it, and if it goes away, most NFL teams handle these things. It'll be him.
Yeah. What do you think the line is for Bobby Slowik? Like, how it has to be ugly for him to get fired, right? Like, it has to be they lose. Like,
well, think about it.
17-3.
You can't have back-to-back home games where you don't score any offensive points.
That's true.
That could be part of the equation.
You know what? That'd be bad for my guy Bobby Slowik.
Yes,
that'd be bad on the resume.
Yes, if you If you don't score against the Ravens the next time out at home, and against a team who's actually trying because the Titans weren't trying, you might be able to say that all year if you're shuffling in Mason Rudolph and Will Levis. But they really went for it against the Texans. We're going to give those guys a series apiece and just flip it depending on how we feel. Rand Carthon was like, maybe you should fire me if this is what we're doing. Callahan, what's up with that? But what's the line? I don't think they will produce another scoreless afternoon, but if they do, that would be certainly a way you get fired. Let's just say
no touchdowns. They lose 17-9 because I think it's important that
how it goes.
The defense isn't
keeps them in it. Like
yeah,
if the defense is giving up 2 touchdowns on the first couple of drives, it changes the game script. It could change the way you operate. You could point to, hey, we were never in it. It was just a bad day all around for everyone. But if it's a game that could be had if your offense played up to normal standards, there could be a way and a path where he gets fired. It could be a dual firing where Slowik and Strasser both get it, or Strasser both get it. Well, Gary just hung up. Gary, if you want to get back in, I was going to get to you because it looks like you had an answer.
Just having screened his call, he agreed with us. He thought that Slowik would be back this year. I don't know the reasoning. Maybe he has different reasoning than us. Gary normally thinks of it.
Generally.
He just has a different angle on things.
He does. And we welcome it.
Yeah, that's not a, whatever. It's just a different angle. But yeah, I think that's conventional wisdom, at least from, I'm sure that like the fan base or especially like casual fans are like, get this guy out of my face.
The Twitter fans definitely want him out.
Yeah, but I think for as far as if you're thinking about this, logically, or if you're to logically have to make a wager on this, I think most people would think that he comes back.
We certainly live in a bubble where we think just the online noise or what we talk about in the day-to-day because that's their job is the way a lot of fans think. A lot of fans just want to go out there and watch their team play.
Yeah.
Do they even know who Bobby Slowik is? Would they know his they probably wouldn't know his face, but if they tune into sports radio, they may know the name. But for the most part, people just want to go out and watch the football team play, and they know they're pretty good because KABC Channel 13 is talking about them. Think about the LA station because of what's going on out there. Channel 13 is talking about them. Fox is talking about them. Their local anchors who they see for 2 minutes at a time are talking about them, and they know the team's got a playoff game. That's how I think most fans take in a football season, not the sickos who listen to us. That's a different vibe altogether. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe most fans want him out. I just don't know if that's how the regular football fan operates. They ain't listen to podcasts. They ain't listen to us. They're working. Not that you guys aren't, but maybe they're not allowed to listen to sports radio. So we will see.